It's great getting to hang out with you. But seriously, you were against the banker bailout back last year when they first launched it. Now they want a new bailout. They did a bait and switch. They kept the trillions of dollars for themselves. They're not loaning it. What's your view on that?
Well, if you want a true bailout, you have to do what I did in Minnesota. When we had a budget surplus in Minnesota, I gave the money directly to the people. If you want to truly stimulate the economy, give it to the public.
Absolutely.
You know, because we will spend it. And will that not stimulate the economy? Isn't that what they want? Us with money, spending our money?
But they're not. They're hoarding it.
Well, they're giving it to the banks rather than the people. And the banks are like a middleman.
And then they loan it back to us at interest.
Exactly. So if you truly want a stimulus package, in my opinion, you give the money directly to the people.
What do you think of Ron Paul and others' move to audit the private secretive Federal Reserve?
I think it's a great idea. I don't agree with Ron Paul on everything. You know, one thing, he's pro-life.
All right, News Blitz coming up. I will go to a ton of news here at the end of the transmission. Let's go to Hunter in England first, though. Hunter, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Alex. I'm a new listener. I was back home on leave probably like 6 months ago, and my brother was burning a whole bunch of copies of the Obama Deception to take to a gun show down in Salt Lake. And so I watched it, and a lot of it just made common sense. You know, everything that you said, don't just take my word for it, research it yourself, so that's what I do. But I just had a couple of statements with Obama's program to increase school throughout the year and the length of the school days. The United States, I'm in the Air Force, the United States Air Force decided instead of giving the people an hour and a half, 3 days a week during duty hours to work out for their PT test, they now decided as of January 1st that will be done on your own time and not during work hours. You know?
And I want to point out that Americans aren't lazy. We work more hours than anybody in the world. That's a statistic you can pull up. We have less vacation, everything. They are forcing us. First, they make the women go work. Now they take your kids away. All so we can pay taxes to the bankers to fund their empire.
And another thing, since I am a new listener, I do get into some conversation with people at my work. And there was an NCO in my shop today. He's like, oh, there was another theorist in his textile school class because he was cross-training into this career field. He said this person who worked the flight line at Langley Air Force Base on 9/11 was telling people in the class that one of an F-15 that came back was missing one of the missiles, and everyone was making fun of he said everyone was making fun of him, calling them nuts and crazy and things like that.
Even though we've got generals that have gone public and other people and witnesses and what the state police said they saw in Pennsylvania, that 2 AIM-9s, or these air-to-air missiles, were fired into Flight 93.
And my brother has the subscription to the Prison Planet. I'm going to burn the video. I have some couple friends here in England. We're going to go to the houses and slip them through the mailbox and try and get much as out there as possible. Because, you know, it is very important that people know this, and hopefully, you know, we're not too late. And I appreciate your time.
Well, awesome, my friend. I mean, the explosive power of the people taking action. We have a criminal foreign banking takeover happening, and the people are standing up and saying no, and this film chronicles who the criminals are, what their master plan is, how to stop them. That's why Follow the Republic is so important. It is up to you, the listeners, how big this film gets. I make it. I put it out there. It is a weapon. Use it. Thank you so much. Good to hear from you, Hunter, an American in the Air Force in England. Ted in Delaware. Ted, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a relatively quick. I'm what you would call a noob in this. I've recently been awoke for maybe a year. I knew something was wrong. I was staring at the pool, and you pushed me in. But now I sort of feel like I need a little bit more than the DVDs, because I don't have the information like you do, 10 years of researching, so I
14.
can't really express to people, you know, face to face. I would like to maybe get a poetic sort of letter to the police and the military, something we could print out in mass, just the people, the new people like me that can really get out there and get after these people. Maybe a letter, just somewhat poetic, somewhat facts, small, that we can all print out and hand to people.
Okay, Pat Buchanan for WorldNet Daily. It's syndicated all over the place, but World had an incredible article about Oath Keepers to the military today. Jack McClam's Vampire Killer 2000, a letter to the police and military written back in the mid-90s. The police read it. It's like revelation. It came true. Vampire Killer 2000, it's everywhere. My police state films. Listeners are welcome to write up their own idea of a message to the police and military. We should reach out to them. They are waking up. And send it to writers at Infowars.com. We'll post it. Let me be clear. I don't have all the energy to even produce all the answers I know. I talk about it here on the show. All we talk about is solutions. Solutions is identifying the criminal bankers and bringing them to justice. That's number one. And not paying this national debt to these foreign banks, arresting these crooks. We've given them tens of trillions of our own money. We've got to point out it's fraud. I mean, what if we just let Madoff keep running Ponzi schemes, and if he put a gold crown on and announced he was God, would we have to follow him? No, he's a fraud. It's like, what was the solution to ending slavery in this country? Black people started revolting, and white people started revolting against it. And they said, this is inhuman and wrong and evil. And they were called kooky minorities in 1800, but 60-something years later, it was illegal. Black people 60 years ago, 50 years ago, couldn't eat in white restaurants. Now they can. You just say, I'm not your slave.